Hello, long time no see. How are you? Thank you for watching this video today. I'm going to be talking to you guys about reading. I'm actually going to be recommending some books. I know, it's so exciting. I know that reading in English can be difficult because you start reading and there are lots of words you don't know and you feel frustrated. You want to stop and check the meaning for every word, and that never works. It never helps because you cannot get involved with the story. So instead, try to choose a book that is right for your level of English. There's one type of book that I recommend to absolutely everyone, all levels, okay? Children's books for everyone. But Patty, I'm already a proficient speaker. Yeah, me too. But we do learn lots of things every time because we have to remember we have not been children in English. So there are gaps, there are little things we never got to learn. So it's important that we do. And there's always other things. If it's a good children's book, there's vocabulary, there are structures that will be useful to you. One of the most, no joke, one of the most advanced structures I have learned from reading, I learned from a kid's book. Yeah, I'll tell you which one. Tabby McTat, which is a book I recommended on Instagram last month, maybe. Tabby McTat. Anyway, so children's books for absolutely every level of learner. Now, a recommendation for you if you are intermediate, maybe pre-intermediate, but trying to take that leap and improve. I recommend What I Know for Sure by Oprah. Lovely, quite a thin book, so you can get through it easily. You can get through the book. I love this way of describing reading. It means that you can start the book and you can finish the book. You can get through the book easily and relatively quickly. Another recommendation for this level would be Tuesdays with Morrie, which is a book I have recommended as well on Instagram, and lots of people have tagged me because apparently it was like 99p on Kindle one of these days, and then lots of people bought it and they tagged me, which is great. Beautiful story, and it's also a real story. So both of them, What I Know for Sure and Tuesdays with Morrie, are memoirs. So they are real stories. I recommend that type of book, especially for pre-intermediate, intermediate students and upper intermediate students. So if you are in the intermediate kind of level and you're hovering there, you feel like you're a little bit stuck, these books can really help. Important to say, when you're doing reading in English, you want to read daily. Even if you say to yourself, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to read 3 pages a day, so be it. Read 3 pages a day, but do it every day. When you're reading, you want to have a notebook with you. A notebook. Let me show you this beautiful notebook I got from Dominic for Mother's Day. Bless him, look. So you want to have a notebook and a pen when you're reading, and you want to just write down some sentences that catch your attention. So say to yourself, I'll find one sentence or word per page, or in every 2 pages, find one that catches your attention. And it might be, I'm not just talking about new things, this is where things get complicated, isn't it? I'm not just talking about a new sentence or a new word. I'm talking about things that are not new, but you know you would not be able to write it that way. And if you cannot write it that way, you cannot say it that way. Everything is connected. So have a notebook with you when you're doing your reading. So this is your learning time. And the more you get into the story, the more it becomes your leisure time as well, something that you're doing for fun. And one more book for the intermediate kind of people. I'm going to say Clara and the Sun. Clara and the Sun could be a good book for you right now. I do not love this book. I do not love the story, but the writing, I believe, will be something that you'll be able to follow, although it's not a memoir, it's fiction. So be open-minded because it's fiction, okay? Maybe start with one of the other two, and then once you've done that, you got through one book, yay, then you can move on and try Clara and the Sun. Now for advanced students, if you are advanced and upper advanced as well, maybe even fluent, but you don't read in English or you don't know what to read next, I'm going to recommend a book that I have loved. It is quite a big book, so it might take you a while, but it's a lovely read, so enjoyable. It's called Fresh Water for Flowers. I have loved every second. Fresh Water for Flowers. It's fiction, so it's not a real story. You get through that book, get your tissues ready because you might get a bit emotional. I did anyway. And another one for advanced students would be Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. This book I absolutely loved because it's such a realistic portrait of Britishness. It's a British author and she's talking about British people. So the characters are British. Eleanor, the main character, is British. And again, a very beautiful book, deep, but it's nothing crazy and super complex, and it's not dense either. So I'm not interested in recommending you classics, for example, because I think for learners it can be a little bit too dense. I love Jane Austen, Patty. Great! Read Jane Austen. Yeah? Now, if you're watching this because you're not a reader in English and you would like to be, those are great recommendations. Now, there's one book I love, love, love to recommend because it really is a fantastic writing in terms of how easy it is to understand what's happening, and at the same time, such a beautiful writing, really. So you've heard about this book, I think, because it's been a big hype, called Maybe You Should Talk to Someone. I read this book a couple of years ago and it was a very difficult transition. It was hard to read another book after I read that book because I really enjoyed that read. So Maybe You Should Talk to Someone is suitable for upper intermediate plus, okay? Upper intermediate plus. I'm sure you're gonna have a good time reading that book. Now, extra advice and guidance for you. When you finish reading the book, if you liked it, I recommend finding something about the author. You might be able to find an interview here on YouTube, and then you can watch the interview where the author is talking about the story, is talking about the book. And if the book is a film, then you can watch the film. I don't think any of the ones I recommended are. No. Are they? No, they're not. Not yet, anyway. But if you're reading another book and you finish, look up an interview with the author, and if there's a film, then watch the film. And start reading as soon as possible. Don't put it off, don't postpone, don't wait any longer. Start reading. 1 page a day, fine, but read it every day, okay? And the more you're able to learn how to read without translating everything, without having to look up every word, finding comfort in just following the story, then the more this will make sense to you and the more you're going to want to read in English. Reading is a very important part of your learning. I hope you don't neglect it, okay? See you guys next time.